Vyasa said to Drupadana, "It is not human dharma for Draupadi to marry all 5 Pandavas. It is divine dharma. So indeed, with a focused mind, marry your daughter to the Pandavas wholeheartedly." Vyasa explains to Drupadana that in this birth she is your daughter. However, her life unfolds according to her past life. Then, the Mahabharata reveals what Draupadi's past life was. If you ask who he was in the past, who he was in pre-birth, and that is the complete story, let's see very soon. This is indeed good for the great emperor. This situation is about a girl child born to Damayanti. If you ask whom this dog is marrying, it is marrying Sage Maudgalya. They are very beautiful. It is hard to find a girl with beauty like yours. They are extremely beautiful. But the appearance of Sage Maudgalya will be somewhat harsh and a bit distorted. She is very beautiful. He knows that she is his wife. Without knowing him, he has a sense of inferiority, thinking our wife is much more beautiful than us. Will these remain true for us until the end? He had a small doubt about that. Therefore, he indeed considered that he should test her chastity. The one who had once thought transformed completely his body into that of a leper, and as a result of his own penance, the disease known as leprosy began to gradually take hold of him, and he acquired a leprous appearance. Now, even in this form, does our wife Nalayani have so much beauty and love for us? Let's see. Thus he tested her chastity, but she truly showed great affection towards him. If one shows so much love, no one can behave with such humility at such a young age. Henceforth, it is hers. I don't know if a woman can show such humility towards her husband in this world. In this leprosy, the entire body emits a foul odor. However, by using fragrant oils, he cleanses all the hidden parts of the body and provides him with nourishment. Whatever acts of humility need to be done, that woman has done all those tasks beautifully. However, like the sage Maudgalyayana, another person must come to inflict good and sweet suffering. To what extent should one serve the husband? How those acts of humility resemble the qualities of Nalayani. If there is someone in this world who can inflict suffering like that, it can only be said to be the sage Maudgalyayana. The foul odor that can spread throughout the body. Without any kind of disgust in the mind, he is cleansing his entire body with fragrant substances and medicinal oils, yet with his own feet, he strikes and beats her. Just think about how cruel a person must be. Without worrying even a little, she continued to serve. One day he said, "I don't like one thing. In this neighboring village, there is a woman more beautiful than you. A maid was in my house. During that time, those customs were prevalent. That's when she said to take me to Sino's house. What would my wife's mental state have been? The man who moved in to live with me now finds it hard to even look at you. Now, he is not in a position to live together with her. But if cruelty stops, is it a crime? If it continues, what is the ultimate form of cruelty? Call the maid to the house of that cruelty. Not to worry at all, the husband's desire is his own desire. He is carefully carrying it in a bag, kept clean and safe in a blanket. He has come to that maid's house. I have been waiting outside for a long time after dropping him off at the maid's house. She waited without hesitation, saying, "My husband's wish is my wish." Now, the sage Maudgalya, who has come out, is on his way carrying a bundle on a mat as before. This too. One's foot is pounding. Sage Maudgalya used to carry this basket on his head through the hole in the basket. The old leg of the Kusharam is indeed just hanging outside the bundle. Now, there is a sage hanging from a tree, and I have already told you about that sage. If I say you came while listening to the story, you would definitely know who it is. The sage Mandavya. I have told you the story of why this sage Mandavya slept under the tree. Now the sage Mandavya is hanging from the tree. At night he is not there, and a leg is coming through the door of my bundle. In the dark, be careful, leg is resting on his foot. As soon as it touches, he has already been hanging from the tree without losing his life, preserving his soul. Now see what he has done. He has gathered himself without being able to bear any pain. The girl saw and said, "You see well," before dawn. While carrying, your husband said, "Come back after his head bursts." He is that angry. He is already hanging from the tree. Go straight and tell Dharmadeva, "Why am I being punished so severely?" He will say, "When you troubled the worms and insects in your childhood, that is why you have this fight. Why is such an unjust punishment given? Is this good? Children under 12, even if they make mistakes, should not be punished. What age would I be when those worms and insects were being troubled? Would I be 110 years old? I am Dharmadeva. Why am I being punished for something I did as a child? How can I be held responsible for what I did at 10 years old? No, none of that. You say that I sleep in the tree for that sin, and Dharmadeva will say this is just. The learned ones know that for the mistakes done knowingly or unknowingly, Dharmadeva has given a huge punishment. Now, even though he kicked him, he couldn't bear the pain and has cursed him. Before the sun rises, your husband's head will be crushed into 100 pieces, she said. I replied that it will only be crushed when the sun rises. I truly want to hit you, but I am in great pain myself, not knowing how to do it. In the dark, I hit you without seeing, and when I asked if I could be forgiven, there was no forgiveness. As soon as the sun rises, we will crush your husband's head into 100 pieces. He said it will melt only when the sun rises. Is there no sunrise for me? The sun is rising now. Only when the sun rises will my husband's head be crushed into 100 pieces. The sun will not rise. If the sun rises the next morning, it will be avoided. If the body is good, can the sun rise with great heat, trembling at the sight of the body? No. It will be avoided if it hides. The whole world has become dark. All the celestial beings are lamenting that the sun has not risen. In the end, indeed, the news of the dog swearing to the sage is becoming known to everyone. Now, if the time is good, they said a lie. Mother, please take back this curse. Since I gave the curse, I cannot take it back. What wrong did my husband do? What wrong did I do? He was unknowingly hurt. Can such a big punishment be given to me? He is the one who should take back that curse. I cannot do anything. What if the sun, the supreme being, dies? If I cannot do it, then the gods should decide. What they thought was that a curse placed by one illusion can only be resolved by another illusion. No one else can do it. That's why everyone went to see who could help. They saw Anusha, the wife of the sage Athiri. That Anusha is not an ordinary illusion. When the 3 deities came to test her, Anush turned them into children, placed them in a cradle, sang lullabies, and fed them. That Anusha has now become the one everyone is talking about. Mother, only an illusion can lift the curse placed by another illusion. Please appeal to the good one kindly and gently to make the sun rise. Human, when the good one has come to you, should the sun rise? All lives are in turmoil. If I say to make the sun rise and then it rises, my husband's head will break. After that, how will I live? If she says so, You should reclaim the curse you placed to make the sun rise using your illusionary power. Then the sun will rise. As soon as the sun rises, your husband's head will break and die. I said I would save your dead husband with my illusionary powers. Accordingly, I will create a command for the sun to rise again, and as soon as the sun comes, the head of the sage Maud-Kalyan will break into 100 pieces, and Anushya will bring him back to life with her illusionary powers. The cloud is indeed the best in illusion. Not only that, the very sight of those who gave life changes the mind of the sage Maud-Kalyan instantly. Until then, it is intense suffering. Do you know what happened one day during the time of receiving? The mother was preparing food for the good one. The sage Maud-Kalyan is enjoying the meal. His entire body is filled with joy. The one who was cursed is now genuinely showing love towards us. Let's see. A beautiful finger is pointed out. He has looked at the change within that beauty. He told that mother to give the remaining food to you and eat. Immediately, what that mother did was to show a beautiful finger among the fingers. With patience, that beautiful one lifted a corner and placed it aside. The sage Maud-Kalyan, who had eaten the remnants of the food, saw the extraordinary illusionary skills of that good one. Realizing that the illusionary powers had given him life, he transformed his own joyful, youthful form into an old one. The sage Maud-Kalyan, who once had a fearsome appearance, transformed into a being of great beauty due to the skills of this one and Anushya's abilities when he regained life. This is what we read in Bharata. After that, the sage Maud-Kalyan and the good one lived together for a long time with great love. Now, the life of actress Nikki has come to an end. In his next birth, which was a significant event, her name was Indrasena. You were born with the name Indrasena. Now, she is searching for where the sage Maud-Kalyan is. Since both are living happily, she asks, "What boon do you want as you saved my life?" "Where are you, Swami?" "I must be there. No matter how many births I take, you are always Maud-Kalyan. I must find you, so please grant me a wish." Accordingly, in the next birth, she was born as Indrasena, the sage Maud-Kalyan. She is determined to search and find him to live with him. However, at this moment, the sage Maud-Kalyan is not in a state of mind to live with her. He wants to remain as an ascetic due to his intense penance. He has also mentioned that he does not want a worldly life. He wishes to somehow connect with people. She asked, "What is life for me if you are not there, Swami?" The sage Maud-Kalyan replied, "Meditate on Shiva, who brings peace to your mind." What good advice you are giving. Now you are beautifully meditating on Shiva as Indrasena. In the past birth, he was just, and now in this birth, he is Indrasena. The sage spoke to that Indrasena saying, "Yes, go and meditate on Shiva." I say once again, he is indeed good. He is Indrasena. In one birth you may see him as unjust, and in the next birth as Indrasena. While meditating on Shiva, Shiva asked you, "What boon do you perhaps want?" Do you know what boon he asked for? "Give me a husband, give me a husband, give me a husband, give me a husband, give me a husband," he must have said in fear. Shiva responded 5 times. What did Shiva do immediately? "All right, we have given you 5 husbands, but not in this birth, in the next birth." "Not in this birth? They said there is no next birth. I thought I should ask for a husband, but I asked without knowing those 5 times. That is your fate. There is no next birth." What to do? Go and dive into the Ganges. While I was diving in the Ganges, a young man will come facing the truth. They said to bring him here. Now, Indrasena went to the Ganges, crying and drowning, and the tears that flowed from her eyes bloomed into lotus flowers. Indran, who stood witnessing this scene, saw it. He is looking and wondering what this is. I have instructed Shiva to bring the man who is facing her. Now, Indran looked at the woman and asked, "Who are you?" The girl replied, "I am who I am. Now let's go together." He took her and went to stand before Shiva. Shiva had undoubtedly already captured 4 men like this in the celestial realm for their pride. Now, this Indran lost himself in the peak of pride without recognizing Shiva. Shiva made him fall to the ground, causing all the strength of Indran, who was at the height of pride, to be destroyed. Now, realizing his mistake, Indran stood up and said to Indrasena, "Lord Shiva says, the 4 Indians who were already captured due to pride will now be joined with you, making 5. The 5 are Dharma, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva." We see that he beautifully granted a boon to Indrasena. Indrasena, you have now been born as the daughter of Draupadi. He has married these 5, Dharma, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. After clearly stating that this is not a matter that students can decide upon, Draupadi brings me peace. Only after that do I find peace. Now I know that all of them are present in Draupadi's palace. All these Kauravas indeed set out and engaged in battle with them, driving them away as before. They gathered in Hastinapura and once again plotted how to destroy the Pandavas. The Pandavas are all residing in the Panchala kingdom. How can they be destroyed? The king of Panchala, Draupadi, has married all 5 brothers. We went to his Swayamvara, but we couldn't get Draupadi. How can they live happily? He thought about how to destroy them and planned accordingly. He said there are 3 ways. One is that they should not even come to Hastinapura from the Panchala kingdom. They should not come. They must be destroyed in the way they can come. Otherwise, we should give a lot of wealth and make Draupadi fall at their feet and tell him to drive away those 5 brothers. We must tell him to drive away those 5 brothers. There is a third thing. The matter is that the Pandavas are not children who can be easily dismissed. Those born to Kunti are indeed like Dharma, Bhima, and Arjuna, along with Nakula and Sahadeva. If we create a conflict between these 2 mothers, then why should there be a fight over whose family is bigger? One person hits another, and yes, that would bring the entire kingdom to us. I could be happy about that. But all this is bad thinking. His entire body is poisoned, and he is like the wicked flag of Duryodhana. There will be poison all over the body. I plan to get rid of it like this. When Karna, who was nearby, said, "No, no, they cannot be defeated like this. If we place Brosnan in the palace, the matter of deceiving you will be known, and there will be a lot of improvement. She cannot destroy you quickly. If they want to destroy, they can only do so through war. If we stand face to face and fight, we can defeat them. Just like that." What Dhritarashtra said was true. But do you know who will come to their aid in the war? Krishna will gather all his armies and come. He will bring all the people from the village before Krishna comes to support them. We need to wait for the armies to run and then figure out what to do to destroy them. If Dhritarashtra says no, it is a big deal that Duryodhana has set fire to the palace and 5 people have come alive. Is it a big deal that they are alive now? Or is it a punishment or sin that has come to us? Please, without showing enmity towards them, they should focus on their own work. That would be correct. If Duryodhana says, "Father, you are speaking in my favor," then is he asking if you are speaking in favor of the Pandavas like Vidura? Vidura said he understands. Earlier, he said he must speak in favor of the Pandavas, because Vidura has greater affection for the Pandavas than for you. He has excessive love for the Pandavas because they are innocent children. If he spoke ill of the Pandavas earlier, he wouldn't accept it. But to speak the truth, listen to what I am saying about Duryodhana, who does not provide further enmity. I am going to discuss the governance of this Hastinapura in the assembly. Everyone should come together.